What is going on, everybody? It's Civil here, and there's going to be no intro to this video. I'm going to be talking strictly about the abilities that you guys see me using weekly all the time in these gameplays that I'll be posting on the YouTube channel. So if you're new to the channel, I kindly ask you to consider subscribing for all types of great gameplay of the rest of Madden 20, tips to get Madden 20, and news going to Madden 21. We're going to be continuing this out throughout Madden 21, so you guys are going to love the content here. Go right now and drop a like and leave a hashtag CivWave in the comment section below, okay? It helps me a ton in the YouTube algorithm, so it directly helps me. So I get a ton of questions on the abilities I use rather, and I figured it'd be a good time to make a video talking about it. So on offense, don't skip through this video because I'm going to be going over each and every ability for each and every player, and you don't want to miss something important. So make sure you stick around to the end because you might be missing a very, very valuable piece of information that I say throughout this video, okay? So on offense, the abilities that we have, and I run a slot, so this can change a little bit depending on what formations you run, whatever, but regardless, I think you could take good knowledge out of this, okay? So, on the offensive side of the ball, we have Robert Griffin, Evan Ingram, and Bulio Bones, okay? Now, let's check out RG3. Let's check him out real fast, and let's tell you exactly what we're using on him and why we're using what we're using on him. Okay, so at the X Factor position, we have Bazooka. And honestly, it's either going to be Bazooka here or it's going to be Fearless, which is throw accuracy is unaffected by defensive pressure. That's actually really big. I think that's after 4 completions throughout the game or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it should either be Bazooka, which obviously we all know what that is, or Fearless. The other ones, see, highlights extra blitzers after the ball is snapped. That's after the ball is already snapped, so I mean you already see those blitzers coming. Pro reads is terrible. Gambler's terrible. Run and gun, I've never seen this before. This is awful. Brick wall, that's kind of cool actually. That is kind of cool. I don't know what the requirements are to get that, but those are alright. Those are alright. But this ability combination is probably gonna be the best thing you're gonna be able to find. I promise you. And you can find little tweaks, but the overall combination of these abilities I have here are going to be absolutely freaking incredible. So on the first spot, we have Hot Route Master. We're going to see right there. Obviously, getting us some extra routes. Very, very important. Escape Artist. At this point in the year, you have to be using it because you have Escape Artist quarterbacks who can get Hot Route Master. Until like freaking March or May, I think. Until late April. There we go. We could only choose one of the two. We can only have one of the two on our quarterbacks. Now we have both. There's no reason not to have both. And then Gunslinger, unless you're using Aaron Rodgers, you need Gunslinger or Michael Vick. Don't use Michael Vick Gunslinger, okay? It's really, really bad. You'll hate your offensive lineman's head. But Gunslinger is absolutely freaking huge in this, okay? Because the ball is going to get out so much faster. Instead of taking like a windup like this, throwing it, he's going to be like, boom. It's like a sprinkler. I promise you. Dashing Deadeye. This is the only one that's a little controversial. You can go back and forth between like Dashing Deadeye. There's a few decent ones. Dashing Deadeye. Identifier is really, really good. Gift Rep is another good one that people are using like at the salary cap, I know. And then, some of these pass lead chems, I'm not really a huge fan of them anymore. I used to be. Last Ditch, don't use this. I see some people thinking this is a good chem. Do not ever use Last Ditch, guys. Excuse me right there. It is not a good ability. You do not want to use that. But it's got to be one of those. No Look Deadeye is pretty good too. But between Dashing and No Look Deadeye, you want Dashing, okay? So at any point, you might need to pause this video, and that's totally fine. Feel free to pause the video and take a look at what I'm using at each individual spot. So that is going to take care of our quarterback. Now, Julio Jones and Evan Ingram are going to be pretty similar in terms of what abilities we're talking about with them, okay? And so let's just look at Julio Jones. We have the double me wins aggressive catches versus single coverage. And the reason I have this instead of like Moss is I feel like Moss doesn't work all the time. And in fact, Moss will rather have me end up making a very, very bad decision and a bad throw rather than something like this, which is a one-on-one. This will have me throw into like 4 freaking people. And honestly, I throw a lot of picks doing that. So I decided to get rid of it. You can definitely go between these two. I think double me is better though. And then Rack 'em Up is decent. Max Security is bad. There's no reason to have that. So, in terms of abilities, let's start off with Human Joystick, Post Flag, Streak Specialist, and Slot-O-Matic. Okay, so the only one I think here that's debatable is going to be Human Joystick. So let's talk about Post Flag. Post Flag is obviously going to be on every corner and every post route that you throw. You're going to be able to, if you rack it or possession it, you cannot ag it. Okay, this is one of those tidbits of information I told you not to skip the video. So you cannot ag it or there's a good chance you will drop the ball in contact. But if you possession catch it or rack it, you will always hold on to it as long as you get your hands on it. So post flag is absolutely phenomenal, absolutely insane. And the same rules go with streak specialist. So if you can hit him in the seam, click on and get in front of the ball, cut it off with a possession catch or some kind of rack. Absolutely phenomenal ability that people honestly in Weekend League don't know how to use. I promise you that. So automatic's really, really good, and what I like to do is I like to motion him into the slot, so when he becomes a slot receiver in motion, he's always going to beat man coverage. But on top of that, if you put on a slant, an out route, an in route, any of those little baby outs or baby routes, like a hitch as well, he's going to hold on to the ball every single time as long as you rack it or possession catch it. So this basically acts as like a post or streak specialist from the slot on more slotty, I don't know if slotty's a word, but slotty routes, okay, but like ins, drags, curls. I don't think curls activate, but slants, stuff like that. Human joystick, this is the debatable one, because you don't necessarily need this. It's obviously we all know what human joystick does. You don't really need human joystick in my opinion. It's just kind of, I don't really have anything better. Route technician, something that you could do. This is gonna get you open more on cuts. Matchup nightmares patch now. Return man's cool. I mean, if you want to use him as a return man, but also if you're gonna use return man, might as well just use human joystick. So there's not really a whole lot. If you don't have Hot Route Master, now if you're not using Hot Route Master for some reason, then this is where you want your route chem, okay? This is where you want the route chem. Leapfrog, heck no. You could, argue, an in post elite or something like that, in out elite rather. You could argue it. You could argue, where's the other one? Cross specialist is pretty good too, depending on what your offense is and what routes he's on. But I mean, the one I prefer to go with is the human joystick, but it is debatable. You can argue it back and forth. You definitely can. Okay. So going into the next abilities, it's gonna be Evan Ingram, and you're gonna see basically the same idea with this, with our guy Evan Ingram. Now Evan Ingram's a literal beast, by the way. Also, shout out to Slayin. This is his team. His link will be in the description below. Once again, we're going to see double me, and you're going to see streak specialist, post flag, in specialist. And so these two are must. We need streak, we need post flag. In specialist, I don't really have a better ability to go here, to be honest with you guys. Matchup nightmares patch, so it's just not nearly as good as it once was. So, I mean, there's really not. I mean, cross specialist, depending on what routes you have him on, is a decent one. Curl comeback elite, if you put him on a lot of curl routes, I guess. I just found this one a little inconsistent, so I'd like to stay away from it. Red zone threat I found very inconsistent. I like to stay away from stuff that's inconsistent. Slot-o-matic doesn't activate at tight end, so I mean, just kind of you have to stay away from that at that point. But that's going to really wrap up the offensive side of the ball and abilities. Any questions or any suggestions, anything like that, make sure you guys drop a comment down in the freaking comment section below. And if you haven't already, I kindly consider you to hit the subscribe button for more content like this and hit the like button. Both directly help me. Going on to the defensive side of the ball, you're going to see this. So there's some debate here, right? I have Sean T, Calvin Johnson, and Myles Garrett activated. Now, you could go the other way. You see here I have two DBs, right? Two safeties and a D lineman. You could go two D linemen and a safety if you wanted to. Kind of subjective. I'm decided to go this way, but you could definitely go the other way, so totally up to you. Let's check out our guy, Myles Garrett, first, okay? And Myles Garrett's actually kind of a tank. He might be the best pass rusher in MUT. We're going to see Unstoppable Force. Very, very, very good. This is the one I would say. I would say maybe Fearmonger is decent compared to it, but besides that, I would say it's got to be Unstoppable Force. We have inside stuff, Power Specialist. This is huge if you know how to use it. Pass Rush Elite, huge if you know how to use it, and Enforcer. Okay, so let's talk about this inside stuff. This is going to be very, very, very good at just blowing up a lot of run plays, as long as they're not in a nose tackle, right above the center, so like the deep defensive tackle in 3-4 odd. Let's say they're a defensive end in 3-4 odd. This is going to do a great job blowing up some of the dives, and it's going to do a really, really good job at blowing up some of the inside zones and stuff like that. This is better than Run Stopper. I need to make that clear. This is better than Run Stopper in every single freaking way. So, moving on to the next one, Power Specialist. This goes crazy at D tackle in 3-4, and 3-3-5, and 3-3-5 wide, in 1-4-6. All of these, this thing goes absolutely crazy. Pass Rush Elite goes crazy on the edge and also activates at these same D tackle positions, so just note that. So having these two together means you're almost always going to have one of them activate for the most part. And then we have Enforcer. This is great for when he gets these insta sheds from this. On these runs, he's able to just pop the running back, and honestly, it's freaking great seeing him literally just annihilate a running back. It's honestly a great feeling, it really is. So those are our abilities there. in terms of what else we could have, honestly, I don't really think there's many others that I'd recommend. Under Pressure is a good chem. Under Pressure, or it's a interesting chem rather. And then, you know, besides that though, I really wouldn't recommend any other chems there. I think those are pretty straightforward. I think you're gonna find mostly for most people they have about the same chemistries right there. And then Sean T and Calvin, we're just gonna showcase. We'll showcase Sean T because they're gonna be the same abilities across the board here. But we're gonna see immediately we have Shutdown right here, okay, and then Enforcer, Lurker, Acrobat, and Universal Coverage. Now, if you wanted to throw like a Secure Tackler in here, or a Supreme Tackler rather, you could. It's a little late into the year. I don't think it's necessary anymore. But let's talk about this. So Enforcer, Lurker, Acrobat, Universal Coverage is the same on Calvin now, remember. And honestly, I don't think you can find a better combination of this. So check this out. At safety, they're already going to get really, really good animations. With Lurker, they're going to get crazy good animation. You know, the range is going to get widened. With Acrobat, they're going to get insane freaking user animation with insane diving picks, insane all types of like backflip, one-handed between the legs, grabs for 6. It's crazy with this Acrobat. Acrobat does come back to bite you sometimes. You'll see that when sometimes they'll try to go for a diving play and miss, take themselves out of the play. So this chemistry, or ability rather, you might find yourself not liking that much, and that's totally okay. It's totally a subjective thing with Acrobat, in my opinion. Enforcer is absolutely necessary. You need Enforcer. You have to have it. If you have something else here that's dumb, bad decision, go fix it right now. Please do not leave me a comment saying something that Enforcer is dumb. No, I will ban you. I promise you. Going on to Universal Coverage. This is actually... So, there's Universal Coverage, and then you have Zoned Out, and then you have Manned Up, which you can't actually get Man Up. But Universal Coverage is a combination of the two, but it's like worse. The zone part of Universal Coverage is worse than Zoned Out, if you just had Zoned Out, and the Man part of Universal Coverage is worse than if you just had Manned Up. But if you can't fit both of those, this is the ability for you, because they're going to go absolutely crazy, and it's not like he's going to do bad. He's going to do an amazing job, way better than he would have without it. And honestly, like, this ability makes you go crazy, because the CPU, you might have him in a cloud, but once you throw Lurker and Acrobat on him, he's making one-handed backflip interceptions for you, saving games, winning you freaking going 25-0 weekly because of this, okay? It's literally insane once you put this chemistry on him. So, I also do have the strong safety secondary position because I have him starting alongside Calvin Johnson. I think Calvin Johnson, Golden Ticket, is the best user in the game, by the way. But honestly, guys, that's about to wrap this video up. I hope you guys did enjoy this. I know I've gotten many questions on this, and like I said, it is a little subjective. Any suggestions for the defense, make sure you go in the comment section down below. If you have not already, make sure you comment #CivBlade, hit the freaking like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next freaking video.